Welcome to Rock Solid, the Round Rock Business Leaders Podcast. Join your host, Bryan Eisenberg, as he explores the journeys of entrepreneurs and companies across Round Rock, Texas. From startups and nonprofits to large organizations, each guest shares their passion for doing business in this thriving community. Let's dive in.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rock Solid. I'm Bryan Eisenberg, and I'm joined by my guest, Joe Jeffers, fellow Round Rock Chamber ambassador. Joe, you, a couple of months ago, did a presentation for our ambassadors. Mm-hmm. And it really had me thinking, because it kind of gave a little bit more of your background. Obviously, you've served in the military as an officer. You're still in the reserves, and thank you for your service, for one.
Yep.
You're a top-level soccer referee. You're kind of prepared for it today.
Yep, representing that today.
Yep. And you're also a financial advisor.
Yes.
And I said, what's fascinating about that is you constantly go into areas where emotions run deep, mm-hmm. and you kind of find a way to balance not being reactive.
Yeah.
Right? Not jumping to decisions because the emotions are at play at that moment. And I'm really curious how that skill developed in you.
Yeah, I think a lot of ways, and the history of everything that I've been involved with my entire life really is developed courage, confidence, leadership abilities. I think in everything that you mentioned, there's a little bit of all of that. To be a good soccer referee, you have to train, you have to plan, you have to prepare, you have to work on your fitness, you have to know laws of the game. Similarly, in the military, there is a lot of training that leads up to the event, the thing that you're working on, the next phase of the mission, the operation. In financial planning, I ask tough questions of people, and we get a little bit deeper. And I think all of those facets, one, require courage, mm-hmm. requires knowledge, and it requires a certain leadership characteristic that not everybody's meant for. And at the end of the day, I think it's just all of these are a result of a servant mentality. Mm-hmm. Being a leader doesn't mean you can't serve. And so as a referee, I serve the game of soccer.
Yep.
You cannot have the game without the referees, but we're there to service the game. As a financial planner, I'm there to serve my clients and their needs, their goals, their desires. I can't tell you how many times I say, hey, listen, this is your money, not mine. Mm-hmm. I can give you a great recommendation, but I'm here to serve you and what you want. In the military, we serve the country. Everybody knows that. Thank you for your service. That's mm-hmm. the common phrase. Yep. And I just say, thank you, thanking them for thanking me. I never say you're welcome, mm-hmm. but I just thank them for the recognition of acknowledging my service to the country.
And that service mentality, from what I understand, got instilled in you through your dad?
Yes. So my dad is an entrepreneur, and he ran a business for almost 50 years. My grandfather, his dad, was a farmer, and they did a lot of mechanical things on the farm as well. And so my dad, he grew up in the 60s and 70s, and it was all about cars, fast cars, muscle cars. Mm-hmm. He, his brother, his buddies, they just worked on cars. They wanted them to be as fast as they could get, and they would go out and do what they did on Friday night and the weekends. And that just translated into a business for my dad. He opened a shop, an auto shop with his dad, my grandfather, and my dad also opened a towing service.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like, well, what a business mentality. You go out and you pick them up, and then you fix them and you get them back out. So they were driving their own business with the activities that they had. But my dad, I could see throughout my entire life, he was there to serve the customer. He didn't hide in the shop. He was in the front explaining what was wrong with the vehicle, how they were going to fix it. My dad also didn't overcharge people. he did teach me how the business worked, about how he got paid and how, power tools drove efficiency and things of that nature. But he didn't upcharge on parts. It was like, well, I paid $10 at the store. I put $10 on your statement, but he fairly charged for labor. He built a relationship with his customer base that even after people maybe moved out of town and lived an hour away, they would still come back to get service from him because of the relationship that he built with the servant heart and servant attitude he provided to his client base, his customer base, and even his employees and the staff. So I learned all my life what building good relationships looked like and how I needed to run my business. And something that I'll never forget my dad say when I came out of the military and I decided to be a financial professional.
Because that's not a traditional path.
It's not a traditional path, and I can speak to that. It's a funny story how I got involved in that as well. But one of the things that he told me as I was getting off the ground running my business, people are not buying what you are selling. They're buying you as a person, how you treat them, how you explain things, how you react, how you act. They want to do business with you as a person, and whatever you do to help them accomplish their goals is a tertiary effect. They've bought into you as an individual. And I know he ran his business that way, and that's how he almost had a 5-decade-long tenure before he decided to sell and retire.
Rock Solid is produced and recorded at Round Rock Studio. Located right here in Round Rock, our state-of-the-art studio is built for podcasters and creatives alike. We offer multiple professionally designed podcast sets, top-notch recording gear, and a full photography studio ready for any project. Whether you're launching a new podcast or upgrading your existing one, we can help with multi-camera recording, editing, and everything you need for success. Record with us at Round Rock Studio, your local podcasting partner.
That grit that he obviously instilled in you, it fascinates me when I think about you, because you definitely would qualify as high achiever, right? So not only did you get into the military, but you worked your way up into the ranks. You're still in the reserves now. You're not just a soccer referee. You're like in the top 5%, I think you said it was?
It's like 0.5%.
0.5%.
Yeah, so I'm a national assistant referee, and there's only about 400 or so officials at that level in the entire country. And there's probably about 125,000 referees in the country. So I've reached basically the pinnacle of what I can do. The further I could go would be if you see me in a future World Cup.
Yeah.
And that's basically the next levels of what's left in that phase of my career.
So what drives all that high achievement?
Yeah, I can't sit still.
Okay.
Right? There was one time in college I had a stretch of 21 or 22 days straight where I went to work because I just had a couple of jobs, and it was like, I don't sit still. If I sit still, I'm going to fall asleep. And I need rest, and I recognize that at times, but if I sit down, my mind is always thinking, okay, well, what can I do next? And so I think it's funny. I joke with people. Being a financial professional is my full-time job.
Yep.
And it's what I devote majority of my time to. But I, in jest, will say, I have 3 part-time jobs. I'm in the military, which is a reservist. It's 1 week in a month, couple weeks a year, random things here and there. I'm a sports official, which is a soccer referee. Soccer's a year-round sport.
Yep.
Any given day, there's probably a game being played somewhere, whether it's indoor, outdoor, adult, youth. So I can kind of pick that up when I want to and drop it when I want to, and there's different phases. And then I am a financial planner, which as my own boss with Financial Integrated Solutions, I can work whenever I need to, however I need to, 7 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock in the morning, Saturday at noon. So I just fix my schedule to where if you need me to be somewhere to do something, I can make that work.
But it's even more than that because you're also a husband and a father now,
Yep.
as well as, you're part of Kiwanis and the Chamber Ambassadors. You've got lots on your plate and you're still juggling it well and obviously servicing your clients.
Yes.
That must take an enormous amount of time discipline to be able to accomplish all that.
It does. It does. And when I meet somebody new and I kind of get into, you're involved in a lot of things. How do you do it all? And
Yeah.
other ambassadors have mentioned the very same thing. I said, well, first and foremost, sleep is the first sacrifice. I do. I mean, I work throughout the day because I can set my own schedule. There's times where I can get home earlier than later. There's times where I do work a little bit later, but I still go to work after the kids go to bed, right? In the evenings, dinner, get the kids in bed. It's 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I still have a couple of hours that I can do things. And it may just be, I need to email a newsletter for Kiwanis, or I need to coordinate an event, or I need to file some paperwork that I have a life insurance application that I need to submit. I'll submit it tonight and the client can sign it tomorrow. And so I'm busy all the time and I just have to understand these are my priorities in this moment.
Okay.
And then other things, I just have them on the to-do list.
So do you have a formal prioritization scheme that you're working with to kind of manage all of this?
I really don't.
Okay.
I don't. It's funny. I attended a webinar, and it's not the first time I've heard this concept, but the concept of cognitive load. When you have so much on your brain, it can actually be paralyzing. So I do make lists, and I'll have a Post-it note or a notepad, and in certain moments, I will kind of brain dump and just say, here's everything I'm thinking about right now. Maybe not everything gets on the list in that moment,
Okay.
but we know our brains are phenomenal. I'll remember something 15 minutes later, and I'm thinking, that didn't go on the list, and I need to add that. And then I start crossing things off the list. And in that webinar, it was kind of therapy to know that you can get rid of things, and then you can feel a sense of accomplishment when you've achieved them. So I am a list maker. I don't use any apps or anything formal. It's just I've got a pen, I've got a paper, I've got to write this down. And as long as I don't lose my list, when everything's checked off of that one, it can be discarded, and then I will begin another one. My mind is... somebody I work with in the Army has said, my mind is a trap. I don't forget many things. I may not recall them in that moment, but it's funny. One of my subordinates who reports to me, he's learned to do his homework before he ever comes to ask me a question, because I will go back and say, didn't we talk about this about 5 weeks ago? I'm pretty sure I emailed you. And rather than answering his question, I will make him go find
that email,
something that we've already done. And I don't do it to be harsh, but attention to detail is very important. And he's worked with me for the better part of the last 5 years. And he's just like, I know, I'll go find it. And it's comical to me that he'll tell other people, don't challenge Major Jeffers, because he knows. He knows. Am I perfect? Not a chance. Do I get things incorrect? You bet.
Yep.
But I do recall a lot of things. And I think that's the financial planner side of my arithmetic brain. I've done it before. I've seen it. I remember it.
Let's go through that journey of, from the military going into financial planning. I know, your career has also shifted in the last few months. You've joined a new partnership. Let's explore that kind of journey.
Yeah. So I am an IT professional in the military. I'm in the Signal Corps in the Army. And if it has to do with communications, it's probably coming through somebody like me, my shop, my soldiers. I thought that when I got out of active duty in the military and was transitioning to the reserves all along, but I was like, okay, I need a day job now. I thought that I would come down here to Austin and become a help desk professional or be in some kind of IT field,
cybersecurity,
become
something.
a government contractor, and commute back up to Fort Hood, Fort Cavazos, going back to Fort Hood soon. But that was what my plan was. I became a financial professional because of a free lunch. And it's funny, if you tell a soldier you're going to get a free lunch, they're like, I'll be there. So when I was in my week of transition from active duty to civilian life to then into the reserves, it was Wednesday of the week. And they said, hey guys, there's a couple of people who want to do a presentation at lunch today. If you'd like to go, they're buying pizza. How many of you would like to go and who would like to be there? I was like, free lunch? Yeah, I'll be there. Pizza? Cool. Well, the two gentlemen one was an Army veteran and one was an Air Force veteran, and they were Edward Jones financial advisors.
Okay.
I started my career at Edward Jones, but I listened to their presentation and they talked about the job that they do, how they serve clients, how everything works. And I had smart people around me and my dad's business that I had an investment account. I had a Roth IRA. We had a good CPA that worked on the business and kept my dad out of trouble with the IRS. So I knew about these individuals, and I thought, well, this is kind of incredible. I can be one of those people. Now, I sort of tackled it a little bit selfishly. I was like, wait, I have investments. If I take this job, I'm going to understand it better for myself.
Yep.
I can do well for me. My dad was still running his business at the time. I thought, I can help my dad run his business, and everybody that he's connected to and people that are just like him, I can now help them. And that, again, the servant heart mentality was, I can help me, but I can help other people. And my tagline on LinkedIn is helping people make smart decisions with money. But it started with that free lunch. I would not have found out about the opportunity if it wasn't for a slice of pizza. But after hearing the presentation, I thought, this is a job I really want to do. The other appeal was be your own boss. I almost missed my brother's wedding because of a deployment. He got married on Saturday. I left for Afghanistan Sunday. And I almost didn't get to be the best man in my brother's wedding. And being a financial advisor at Edward Jones, at Financial Integrated Solutions, I set my own schedule. I work when I need to. I can work, I can not work, I can work late, I can work early. That was super appealing because of the military life, you don't get those choices. You get told, no, you can't do that. I wanted to be able to say, yes, I can do that. I'm in charge. So the free lunch, the servant mentality of helping clients do really great things, and the be your own boss is what led me to being a financial professional. I stayed with Edward Jones about 6 years. I thought that there was more opportunities for me to provide additional services to clients. So I stepped away from Edward Jones. I got my certified financial planner certificate, and I'm with Financial Integrated Solutions now, doing a balance of insurance planning and wealth management for clients that we deal with.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. So how many free lunches are you giving a year now?
It's a great question. I was actually doing about 3 a year pre-COVID. We do less now, but we sponsor more events that aren't necessarily lunch related. We have a partnership with Backpack Friends, which is another nonprofit that you are familiar with, and we sponsor a lot of their events. We will give money. Jessica's in Rotary. I'm in Kiwanis. We'll sponsor the clubs and events that then have a trickle effect into the things that they do. So it's not that we're not targeting the free lunch, but we've shifted a little bit in how we're tackling our kind of marketing dollars and spend. But a free lunch with a seminar is a great way to educate people on some good topics.
It changed your life. That's what I'm saying. You know,
It did.
you gotta pay it forward.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I was curious if you were doing that.
Well, add it to the to-do list.
Add it to the to-do list. Well, I know if I add something to your to-do list, It will eventually get
It will
done.
eventually get done because everything's got to be checked off.
Exactly. So tell us a little bit about what the day-to-day life for a client looks like when they're working with you.
Yeah, so my process is very basic in a sense. We're goals focused. And so before I work with anybody, I build out a financial profile. I have a document that I showcase to anybody, whether we're sitting down in person and I share my computer or it's a Zoom meeting and I share my screen. But before I do anything, I have to know where are we today and where are we trying to get to and what do we have to work with. So what that looks like is a little bit of asset knowledge and gathering of information. I go and ask the difficult questions that people don't share regularly. So when you start working with me, you're going to tell me how much money you make, how much money you spend, and other things that are pertinent to what we do. It's funny, I'll share with people, everybody, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, we're not shy to share the new job that we just got, the vacation that we took, the new truck that we have. But there's never a part of that post that said, and this is the salary they offered me, or this is how much I spent when I bought this, or I'm part of a travel club that I pay monthly dues for, and that's how I got to take this vacation. Those are things that you're going to share with me that you're not sharing to the general public. And to become a client, you've got to share with me your social security number because of tax reporting and anti-money laundering laws and things of that nature. So to work with someone like me, I've got to establish trust. I've got to make you comfortable with who I am and what we're going to talk about. And I do that first and foremost by just saying, this is how I work. This is what I do. This is what I want to do for you. If you're comfortable with that and you're ready to move forward, now I'm going to ask the hard questions. And you can't be shy about sharing those things. Moving beyond that, I have a lot of tools and resources that I can use. We can give advice on benefit selection with your company.
Okay.
I don't get paid for any of that stuff, but I want to make sure that you make good choices. I can manage a 401k for a business owner. We want to look at your discretionary cash flow because we want to put it to work. Because if we don't put it to work, it's going to get spent at Starbucks or Seven Brew or any of the other local places that we want to support, and we still want to go to those places. I tell clients, I'm not telling you not to have any fun and not live a good life, but I also don't want money to bleed out of your account that you're unaware of. And so we want to know what that discretionary cash flow looks like so we can implement solutions that get you closer to, I want to retire early. I want to send my kids to college. I want to offer benefits for my employees. I want to do X, Y, Z. I have some debts, Joe. How do I consolidate these? What should I pay off first? I have a means of giving recommendations on here's what I would do if I was you. I always want people to buy in to think that it's their plan, because if it's not, they're not going to follow through with it. It's like dieting, right? If somebody says you should diet and you're going to eat food that you don't like, you're not going to diet.
Yep.
I don't want people to do things that I tell them they have to. I want to say, well, here's what I've observed from everything that you shared with me. Thank you for your transparency. If I was you, I would do this. And here's why. And they're like, oh man, that makes total sense. It's now their plan. I just helped them get there.
Hey, have you been wanting to start a podcast? Or maybe you already have a podcast, but you want to take it to the next level? Well, here at Round Rock Studio, we produce high-quality podcasts. We take care of all the recording, all the editing, the lights, the audio, all that jazz. So all you have to do is show up with your guest and start talking. And for this month only, we are doing a special. If you buy 1 hour of podcasting, you get a second hour completely for free. So if you've been wanting to start that podcast or simply take your content to the next level, this might be the perfect chance for you. Check us out at Round Rock Studio.
I'm going to give us a little bit of like an onside kick here. Was it your plan? Because I know your wife was originally from this area. Did she give you the choices of let's come here, or did you fall in love with it while being here?
Round Rock, yeah, I love being here. So I got to Fort Hood in 2011, late 2011, but I commuted down here a lot. Now, my brother went to graduate school at UT.
Okay.
So he was already in the South Austin area. And I do have some extended family in the Houston area in Katy. And so I grew up in Central Florida, and I love Florida, and I still have family there. I did all of my Army training in Georgia, and I was still close to home, but I still wanted to be close to family. So I thought, well, if I can't be in Florida or Georgia, Texas is the next best place. My wife and I met and dated, got engaged, got married. She's a Round Rock local.
Yeah.
Born here, raised here, Round Rock High School graduate. And when I transition from active duty to the reserve, the Army will move you one time wherever you want to go. And we love Disney. And I said, I'm from Florida. We could move to Orlando and you could live like right by Disney if you want to. And I'm familiar with the area. And her response was, I love Disney, but just take me home. And she was actually working as a nurse in Killeen, her first job out of college. She graduated nursing school of Concordia University. Her first job was at the hospital in Killeen. That's how we met. But after marriage and the transition, she was like, I just want to go home. I think being here is the best decision that we've made, though, because I do love the area. Texas is a fantastic state. Round Rock is a fantastic city. I really have advanced my soccer career as a result of all the things that Round Rock is able to do with the multipurpose complex, the national events that come here. So in multifold, I think it's helped me in a lot of ways. And my reserve unit is currently located here in Round Rock. So I train locally and have for the last 5 years. So even when we train, I go home every night. So there's a ton of things that Round Rock has to offer in everything that I'm involved with, and I couldn't be happier to be here.
Awesome. If people want to get in touch with you, if they have any further questions, what's the best way to find you?
Yeah, I would say, email is what I respond to because I don't like having unread emails in my inbox. So email will always get to. I like my phone to notify me when things are urgent. So a text message, a phone call, those are things where something is needed. I don't turn notifications on my phone for email, but I always get to those messages because I don't like having unread emails. It makes me feel like I'm missing something. So I do like to receive email. I have, personal Gmail account where I do my other business, Kiwanis, refereeing. That's all my personal things.
Yep.
I have my Financial Integrated Solutions email for business-related things to financial planning. But you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. I don't do all the socials. I don't have Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. Maybe someday.
I don't know if you have time for any of those.
But I may not look like it, but I'm an older guy, and so a lot of those newer socials it was never part of my thing. But you can Google me, you can find me on the web. We have a Financial Integrated Solutions website. I have a website on Mass Mutual's platform. So there's many ways that you can find me and reach out, and I will receive it and respond, and we can engage because there's a lot of things that I think I can help with, whether it's finance, community involvement, or just you want to go watch a World Cup match and pick my brain about, now, why did they do that? And all those types of things. I love everything that I do, and I'm happy to be involved.
Well, thank you so much for being here today and for all the things you do for our community. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Happy to be here.